let's go. You know what? Let's start this with prayer just because,
Okay,
you
sounds
know,
good. Yeah.
Dear kind Heavenly Father, Lord, Aaron and I are on a mission. we don't, we're doing the best we can with what little we've got, Lord, and what we've got is what you've given us. So we ask you to give us more. We ask you to give us talent. We ask you to give us the ability to reach people, and we ask you to give us the ability to reach the world, to introduce you to people. So thank you, Lord, for the path that you've taken us on. And please, Lord, please help us to find a successful way to move forward. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
So, hey, I remember basically, I'm trying to remember the first time we met, and I'm thinking it was in On Goal, and I was thinking it was now Bonnie and Dell were sending me a bunch of pictures, and they were pretty gnarly pictures of you with these bumps all over you and everything. It's like they thought you were just about dead.
Well, I was just about dead, I would say. Yeah, I went over to India for 2 months with Del and Bonnie Orser through Gospel Outreach. And 3 weeks in, I got really sick. I was running a fever of 103 plus for like 5 days. And I made the mistake of going and seeing a doctor, and the doctor gave me a prescription, something to take to help me with the high fever. And then on top of the high fever, I had an allergic reaction to that. So yeah, it was pretty serious. I ended up in the hospital for, I think it was only 24 hours. And then they basically said, there's nothing really more we can do. You should just take him home. But yeah, they called my parents and told them that this was probably going to be it. And it was a close call.
Wow, they called your parents and said, "This is it. Your
Yeah,
son's gonna die."
yeah, they were really thinking this was it. I
Wow.
lost all memory of about 10 days. And I believe I lost around 25 to 30 pounds in those 10 days. I wasn't able to eat anything. I was barely even able to drink water. They were just dripping drips of water from ice chips into my mouth. But
And
on
you're
the
halfway around the world.
I'm halfway around the world.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
So they, Del and Bonnie, called on a local pastor, and one of the Gospel Outreach Bible workers, and they came by, and they had an anointing for me. They prayed for me, and that was in the evening at about 8 o'clock. And the next morning, my memory comes back, and I remember from then on. My fever left, and within 48 hours, I was feeling a whole lot better. So we believe it was definitely a miracle, because
Oh,
I was on the cusp of death.
wow. Oh, man, that's scary. Your parents must have just been worried out of their minds.
I think they were. My mother is a very Christian, a very godly woman, though, and so they were. They trusted that whatever happened was going to be God's will. So we can have peace in that when we do have God on our side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. We can have peace, but boy, one of my kids was over there and like that. That'd have been tough. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I had an interesting trip over too. Not quite like as interesting as yours, but I just landed in India. We came over, I think, a month after you did or later. But I just landed in India, and we went to the hotel, and I slipped and fell on the marble floors that were wet and dislocated my shoulder. And so I ended up going to an Indian hospital too. And they put my shoulder back in place and gave me a sling, which I wore for the rest of the trip. But on that trip, I think we had 17 staff members altogether, and we were training 70 women. And I couldn't believe it. The first day, the first like 20 minutes there, I dislocate my shoulder. And I've got to lead this whole group through this big project we have of training 70 women. And so, yeah, both of us had quite an experience that trip. Thankfully, I didn't get anywhere close to death, just a little bit of pain. But so we went to On Goal, where we had 70 women, and that's where we first started working together. And I'm trying to remember, because I had brought another film crew that time. And we were good because it was my first attempt to really try to get a good idea, good pictures of what we were doing, because we had 70 women in one place, which was a pretty cool, some pretty cool pictures came out of that. And then you kind of showed up with all your equipment and your drone, and you shot a video that I thought was totally awesome.
And I
And
thought it was garbage.
well, you know, the thing is where I'm coming from, where I'm shooting films with my, you know, for the years before, I'd just been shooting stuff with my phone and putting videos together with my phone. And then I have this other video team, and they've got the, you know, all these cameras they got up. But then you come along and boom, you got the drones, the cameras, and the editing that really makes things start to come alive. And so I thought that was what did you think when you first seen our group and what we were doing when you came into On Goal?
You know, Jim, from the very first time I met you and saw what you were doing over in India, I really am passionate about the work that you're doing. I think that reaching people through the health message is what we should have been doing all along, and especially over in India when it's so difficult to reach people by just knocking on their door. Oftentimes, showing up and just asking, "How can I help you?" is a fantastic opening wedge to meet these people and tell them about Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, and praise God, you kind of caught the whole vision of what we were doing, because we got, I thought was a really good video. I used it when I went back, and then the next year, you and I started working together again. Now, if I remember right, I had called. We had been talking throughout the year, and I had asked you to come with me on part of the trip. Now, did you go with Bonnie and Dell on the next trip too? When we ended up. Because the next year is the year that we went to all the different villages and we shot the persona video.
That year, Dell and Bonnie did not go. So I just went over there with you.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Dell wasn't able to make it. They canceled their trip to India one day, 24 hours before they had to fly out. So that was a real bummer, but I was flying over with you guys.
Oh, okay. That's right. And then you and I just went on that trip. We were going in the car. We were going from village to village.
Yep.
And,
Yep. You know, the interesting thing about shooting video in India, and any filmmaker out there that has gone and done any film work in India will relate to this. You get in a car, you drive 4 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, who knows how many hours you're going to drive to this tiny little village. And then the people want you to spend time with them, and they don't understand what you're actually there for. And so you're trying to shoot video, and the other part of the team is distracting the people so that I can sneak off and get video. And it is a real challenge. I don't think it would be possible without the Lord. and we deal with some frustrations out there in these remote villages.
yeah, a lot of times the frustrations are some of the leadership that you drive all these hours to get to a place. Oh, and if anybody from India watches this, forgive me, but you drive all these hours and you have just a small amount of time to really try to do something when you get there. And these incredible, wonderful people from India, they want to take you in and they want to give you flowers and they want to honor you, they call it. And they give you blankets and they give you flowers and they give you flowery speeches. And you know that you've got just a few minutes to do something before you got to drive another 4 to 6 hours to get somewhere else. And it's crazy to.
Yeah. God bless the people. They mean well, and they just want to honor you. They want to respect you. They want to spend time with you. But, as a filmmaker, I am flying halfway around the world to get video content for these organizations that I'm going over there with. And so if I come back without the footage that I need, it really reflects on me, and it sort of, destroys the whole vision and the whole reason for why we showed up to that specific village in the first place. And it's really working. I don't know what I was going to say. I lost it. I lost it.
Well, and part of it is the difference in cultures. So we, you know what, we both got to try not to touch our face while we're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We can cut that out or not. But it's really the difference in cultures because, in India, they have such a need to show you hospitality and show you that they care about you coming and they appreciate you coming, and they feel it's such a huge deal to be able to do that they put a lot of time and effort into it. I mean, I'm sure some of the things they buy us and give us, they can't afford.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I've been invited to eat at people's houses where they're giving me food they'd never normally eat. I mean, they're eating rice and dal and a couple vegetables, but they've got bananas and grapes and all kinds of stuff for when I get there that they probably aren't normally eating.
Sure, sure. I'm sure we both. I'm sure we both have experienced going to a village where they can't afford to buy garlands of flowers to garland you. So instead, they go out into the field and they find flowers, they pick them and they throw them at you, or they make their own garlands. And some people can't even afford to give you they'll give you a shawl or a blanket to put around your shoulders. And some of them can't even afford that. So yeah, the poverty level is so great. And so when you come into these villages and they are there to give you something, even though they can barely afford to put food on their own table, that really means a lot.
Yeah.
But
So
what I was going to say about going to these villages is the fact that when we go to these villages to film, we may only have 2 hours until we have to turn around and leave. Sometimes we'll get to a village and sundown is like 6:30, and we've got an hour and a half before the sun goes down, and we have all of these different shots that we need to get. We have this storyline that we're trying to follow. And so, yeah, it's definitely a challenge that we have to overcome with the Lord.
Yeah, because you hate to just take the people and push them to the side, and you're really there for them to begin with. So it's really a line you walk on that, trying to be gracious while at the same time trying to get your job done. And so on that trip that you and I went from village to village for that 1 week before we went to northern India, well, you weren't feeling good one day, if I remember right, and you decided to stay back at the hotel. We had been looking for that story. We've been looking for the big story, and Stan Orser and I went and visited this one village, and we ran across Prasanna. And Prasanna, there was a big pile of brick there, and Stan asked, well, what's all the brick? And Prasanna said, well, we're building a new church. And Stan said, wow, why are you building a new church? She said, well, the health work we've done have brought in so many people that our old church won't hold them all anymore, so we have to build a new church. So we go back to the hotel, and I said, Aaron, we got the story. So we went and shot that video, and I thought that video came out really well too. That was a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed shooting that specific video. And I think we had most of the day to spend in that village. So we were there for a lot of hours, which gave us a lot of opportunity to get the shots that we wanted to get. And Prasanna is just the sweetest lady ever.
Yeah, she was a natural, wasn't she? And I still remember sitting there at that well, and Prasanna's pulling us up, and a cow walks through or something happens, and you just looked over at me. You said, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, things were just happening. Boom, boom, boom.
No, you can't make it up. I mean, I had set up the camera. We were eating breakfast because we went into that village very early. We brought breakfast with us. We brought granola that we ate out there in the village. And so we're sitting there eating breakfast. My camera's sitting there, and here comes an auto driving down the road. And I'm like, well, I should get this shot. Flipped my camera on, hit record, and this auto goes driving by. And then as the auto drives by, this little child, maybe 5 years old, goes running behind the auto. And it was just like, you can't make these shots up. This is amazing. Yep. Yeah, and we can't go without talking about the fact that these health workers are the wives of gospel outreach Bible workers, and to see the Bible workers working alongside their wives, doing the health work and telling people about Jesus is amazing. And we've seen some big growth since we've seen husband and wives starting to work together.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I just got a thing this morning of a woman, one of our health workers, talking about how she is taking blood pressures for this Hindu woman that's stopping by her house. And before, most of the time, the Christians really can't communicate or can't really build a relationship with a Hindu or a Muslim, because they look at Christians, they don't like Christians, they think that Christians are out to just, what's the word, they're out to convert them, and so we don't want you to come convert us. But it just works out good when you're just out to love them.
Yes.
And you love them, and if they end up becoming Christian, that's wonderful. If they don't end up becoming Christian, that's wonderful. It doesn't, you don't have any strings attached. You're just out there doing good things. And what happens when you do that is the Holy Spirit's able to do his job, and good things really start to happen at that point.
Yes.
I wish my alarm should be shut off now, but I turned all my sound off on my phone to make sure that wouldn't happen. But of course, the alarm is not hooked to the regular sound of my phone.
Still happens. You can't get away from the sounds.
But yeah, so I mean, just a lot of good stuff is happening with that. And so, the next year we had done something with the North American division, Ultimate Mission, the organization that I'm with, where we had been the mission project for North America for 2018, and so for Vacation Bible School. And what we have is these little things called Mahdi drops, and they're a little ceramic tablet infused with silver ions. When you put them in a 5 gallons of water or 20 liters of water, within 24 hours, the water is completely safe to drink, and they last for a year. So you can use them over and over and over every day for an entire year. So this was the mission project for 2018. And we had raised like $27,000, all the kids from all the Vacation Bible School programs across the North America. It was just amazing. And we had delivered, thousands of these Mahdi drops to India. And I wanted to get video of that. But, at that point, you weren't even coming to India that year.
Correct.
I mean, you weren't even going to come. We had talked, and you weren't even going to come. And then all of a sudden you were coming, but you were coming with Bonnie and Del Orser. Yes. And I had already made my plan. So Stan Orser and I were going one direction, and you and Bonnie and Del were going another direction. But it just happened that you were in the same place as Stan. So I remember talking to you on WhatsApp. I believe it was WhatsApp, is through a computer link on our phones, and asking you if you could shoot a couple minutes of video, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to thank all these children in North America for raising this money. And you said, yeah, sure, I can shoot a video. So the thing is India is a big country. And so for you and Stan to end up with this, because what Stan and I did is we split up. We wanted to visit as many villages as possible to visit all of our health workers. And so we split up. And so for you to end up in the same exact village as Stan at the same exact time was pretty amazing. I mean, how did you end up in that village?
It was very amazing, because when I came over to India, I think we had talked about the fact that there was no way that I was going to be able to be in the same area as you. There was no chance that I was going to be doing any video work for Ultimate Mission. And I don't remember what happened. I think something happened where we ended up deciding to travel to a place that we typically don't travel, and you were close by, and literally we ended up staying at the same place.
Well, yeah, that was the second miracle, because you ended up staying with Stan and shooting that part of the video. And then you ended up staying the same place as me.
Yep.
So, I mean, the same thing happened. Lightning struck twice in that. And we were able to shoot. You shot the video with Stan where he's handing out Monty drops, and then you shot the video with me, and then you were able to edit it and put it everything together. And we came out with just a fantastic video that the North American division had on their website for a year. And so did the Oregon Conference. So we've used that video quite a bit. And I thought that was one of the best videos that we had done together. And it was just basically thank you to all the children. And I use that in churches all over the place as I went and spoke to people. So yeah, we've had a lot of good. And then last year we decided did you go with Bonnie and Dell too, or did you just come with me? I think you spent time with Bonnie and Dell, didn't you?
I spent time with Bonnie and Dell, and then
Right.
I recently got married about 9 months ago, and so I told Gospel Outreach that I really didn't want to go to India unless my wife could come with me, because at the time we had just gotten married, and they said, and so I called you thinking that because she's a paramedic, I thought that maybe she could go over with you and you could utilize her. And so it just worked out perfectly that she was able to go over to India 3 weeks after I had gone. And so I met up with you guys and spent the remainder of my month and a half or a little more than that in India with you guys.
And Lexi was a huge hit with the ladies over there.
Yes,
So,
she was. She enjoyed it very much.
we trained. I mean, we got around 75, 80 women together this time and trained them. And Lexi was one of our trainers. And women teaching women is just a powerful thing. And Lexi's young, and a lot of these ladies are young, and they really liked Lexi.
Yeah.
Lexi was a huge. I mean, she was a big asset during that. But then you and I decided we were going to do something different. We were going to shoot a video that was different than what you see in most mission videos. And so we did things like, Aaron put me up on top of a water tower, which I have a little bit of a fear of heights, partly because I have a prosthetic leg, and it's mechanical, and I have fallen down a lot of times. And so I'm always get on heights where I get near the edge of something and I worry about the prosthetic leg blowing out on me and me just going down. So we get up on that, and then you have me I remember getting up and down from those stairs a few times so you could do a few different shots. And every time my heart's going, oh boy, here we go.
You know what? The idea was brought up and you were all in. So that's good.
Yeah. Oh no, I was all in. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You didn't. But it was just like, yeah. And then I thought one of the neatest parts was going into that marketplace when we were taking the shots in the marketplace, and you were videoing me and you were walking backwards. And you got to understand, these marketplaces, even in the video, you don't even see how chaotic it is, because cars and trucks and motorcycles and horses and cows and dogs and whatever are just zooming every different direction. Nobody cares which side of the road you're on. And it's you need to really watch what's going on when you're walking forwards, but to walk backwards, what did that feel like?
Yeah, so we were filming the intro scene to I think the video was about a 16-minute video that we did this year. And I was walking backwards with the gimbal, filming you, and all of my attention needs to be on my monitor and what I'm filming. And so I can't pay attention to where I'm walking. So we had Stan behind me, holding me by the hips, guiding me through these areas. I mean, I had a motorcycle on either side of me within maybe a foot on either side, and motorcycles and cars, and there was a cow, and I'm just walking backwards through this market. And yeah, that was fun. It took a few takes too, for sure.
Well, because I kept messing it up.
that was definitely part of it. But to be fair, when I sat down to edit the video, I realized that redoing it a few times was great for me too, because there was some of the shots where I ran into a motorcycle or I ran into a wall and shook the gimbal, and so it worked out to take the shot a few more times.
Yeah, that That was fun to watch. And it was fun to do my part as I'm talking and watching you walk backwards and kind of worrying a little bit that you're going to run into something. And so, yeah, that whole thing was a very interesting shot.
You know, I I think what this all comes down to, Jim, the more that I think about it, is the fact that we can see God in all of this. We can see how he's been leading us to this point. Oftentimes, sometimes we don't see where God is leading us until we have distanced ourselves from that situation. But seeing where my life has gone and how I met you and how God just keeps bringing us together, and now I'm doing work for you regularly, and it's really been a God leading us through all of this. I truly believe that.
No, I believe you're completely right. I mean, so both of us have kind of went full-time ministry right now, haven't we?
Yeah,
Pretty
we
much
have.
at the
Yeah,
same time.
basically around the same time we went full-time ministry.
Yeah, because you're doing work for Ultimate Mission, which is who I'm with, but you're doing a lot of work for gospel outreach.
Yep, yeah, I'm doing work for both of you guys, and so, yeah, it's been a journey. I've had to rely on God jumping into something like this. You know, I may not know how I'm going to survive sometimes, but ultimately, it brings a lot of satisfaction to me to be doing mission work, and I'm taken care of. God has continued to take care of me.
Yeah. Did you see all those pictures I sent you yesterday? Did you notice that?
I don't know.
I
Remind
sent
me.
you I sent you an email. It says, because what we did last year is after we did that, we went to northern India, right?
Yes, I
And
saw those images. Yep.
we we trained people in Varanasi. We trained, I think it was 10 medical workers and then 5 couples to do home churches. And what we're doing is training them to combine putting home churches together with medical missionary work. And so we got pictures from that yesterday. And wow, I mean, what that does to see those pictures and see those people at work is just, I mean, it's hard to describe how that feels to me. I mean, how does that feel to you to see something that you've been part of to just blossom and just do incredible
I
things?
think that what you feel is probably very different than what I feel, because on your end, this is your baby. This is something that you started through, trusting the Lord and moving forward. No matter how crazy it seemed, you trusted God and pushed through. And for me, I mean, it's great to see these images of these women doing the work that they're supposed to be doing, and the results from that. And I mean, it's great to see for me, but I'm sure that for you, it's a lot different than
It's,
than on my end.
yeah, I guess it is it's just it's probably one of the most incredible feelings I've ever felt.
Yeah, yeah, and we get images regularly from India. We're getting, I mean, what, you got 150 images the other day in one day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're receiving a lot of images from these women, and it's just a beautiful thing to be able to connect with these women through the internet, through social media. I mean, this is something that we wouldn't have been doing 10 years ago.
No.
No,
No.
8 years ago. I mean, this is just now, we're in a position now where we can be in contact with our workers that are in a third world country like India, sending us images, talking with us. And it's just amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. The world has changed.
Yeah, when I first started this, it would take me months to connect with somebody over there. Now I can pick up my phone and through WhatsApp or Facebook, I can connect with them. We talk back and forth all the time.
Hmm.
And it's amazing what the doors that have been opened now. I know there's a lot of bad things on social media and what have you, but wow, God uses it for the good too. So we both started jumped into full-time ministry, quit our jobs. I mean, I was a machinist for 27 years. You had been working for this other company, and we both
Mhm.
basically quit our jobs because I mean, in my part, there was just so much to do. We had, we have 13 people working for Ultimate Mission right now, and trying to manage all of that was so much with doing a full-time job. And then we've been asking more and more of you, and Gospel Outreach wanted more and more from you. And
For me, what brings the most satisfaction on my end is, before I started working with you, I was doing video, and I still do video on a part-time basis for a gym floor company here where I live. And so we were doing video for their social media, and we were actually starting to shoot a reality TV show at the time, which I think is still in the works, but we shot a couple episodes. But doing something like that where we're just creating mindless entertainment, it didn't feel nearly as it just didn't feel like something that I wanted to do. And now that I'm doing the full-time ministry, it's giving me so much satisfaction, because what I am doing is for something so much greater than myself, and for the entertainment of others. And so that really brings a lot of satisfaction to know that when I create a video, this is not just something that's going to bring entertainment to people, but one of my videos could very well change the course of thousands of people's lives. And
yeah,
so that's huge for me as a filmmaker.
yeah, no, absolutely. You're doing something much bigger than yourself, and with a much bigger purpose. And yeah, I mean, this means a lot more to me than making metal parts for customers as a machinist. So it's and so we've come to this point now where we're full time. So we jump into this full time ministry, and what happens? Boom, the coronavirus, right?
Yep.
Shuts the world down. Shuts, so many people are out of work. So many people don't have the funds, and what we rely on is donations. And so we need to make people excited about what we do. That's why the film and the social media and the pictures are so important, is we need to try to get people to feel this passion that we feel, in order to come along with us, to join with us, and to make things happen. And boy, this coronavirus just came at the wrong time. I mean, well, I don't know if there ever would have been a right time, but wowzers, right when we decided to quit our jobs and jump into full-time ministry, here comes this world shutdown.
Like within a month after we went full-time ministry, or something like that, a month or two after we went full-time ministry, we got hit by the coronavirus. Yes. And so God is really testing us. I'll tell you one thing, we're relying on God here.
So we're working on different projects. We're working on trying to figure out, because most of the ways that I connected with people in order to get people to sponsor women, because what we do is we get people from first world countries to sponsor people from third world countries. And I did that mostly by meeting in groups, and going to camp meetings, going to churches. We were going to go to General Conference this year. But then that's all been shut down. So Aaron and I have been really we've been working on trying to get things out in social media and figure that whole animal out. And man, I tell you,
it's a challenge. Social media is an ocean of possibility, and an ocean filled with people, or with fish. I don't know, an ocean filled with possibility. But I think, yeah, the social media has been a challenge.
yeah. Well, and I've looked at different companies, and I've even hired a couple different companies where they were telling me, they were promising me they could do this or they could do that, and I'd throw some money at it, and things wouldn't happen as they said it would happen. And I just, with this, the thing is, we want to take the money that we get in from the donors, and we want to put it where it needs to go. We want to give it to the ladies. We want to buy medical equipment. We want to buy Modi drops so people get clean water. We don't want to take donations and give it to social media marketers. unless there's a return on investment. If I can, invest $100 and get back $300, then great, let's do that all day long. But if you can't see a clear return on investment, it's a waste of money, and I don't want to waste people's money. I don't want to waste my money. So it's been very challenging to figure out where that jump off point is. Okay, do we jump in? And one media company told me, I should spend $24,000 a year on his social media company, and I'm thinking, well, okay, if you could bring me $50,000, I guess that would be great, but there's really no guarantee that could ever happen. And so you and I have been working on a percentage basis, which has been tough on you, especially during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's been a challenge. Social media marketing, marketing companies now, in my opinion, coming from somebody who didn't go to school for marketing whatsoever, but I'm doing it. I feel like things have changed. Marketing companies cannot tell you how well the work that they put in is going to, like, your return on investment. Nobody can guess that. There's no analytics that can tell you what your return on investment is going to be. And the problem is we are being inundated by content constantly today. I mean, advertising regularly on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It is everywhere. And the thing is as somebody who is getting advertising regularly from all sorts of different ministries, how is somebody supposed to decide to donate to Ultimate Mission versus a different organization over here? It's a real challenge to capture people's attention. And I don't know how to put this. I feel like the church is, we're starting to get a little more worldly, in that I don't know if that's the right thing to say. I feel like we're getting a little more worldly in that we're trying to create content that grabs people's attention. And we're slowly starting to put our toe, and I don't think we've gone so far yet that it's sinful, that it's wrong, but everything is getting much flashier. And, our ads are 30 seconds and the music. And I think that we're trying so hard to keep up with the world. How do we stand apart when the only way we can reach people through this pandemic specifically? How are we supposed to reach people and tell them that we are here and we're accepting donations, and tell them about what we're doing, when nobody is willing to watch the videos that we put out unless they are engaging enough? Unless our post is flashy enough so that it catches somebody's eye. Because if it doesn't catch somebody's eye, they're going to scroll right by it. They're not going to take a look at it. If we have a 30-second commercial, somebody may only watch 5 seconds of it unless there's a hook that pulls them in.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. As we've been boiling our commercials down into a smaller bites, because we find people aren't watching 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes of video content. We're only getting a few seconds a lot of times, and we're finding 1 minute is about where we're at right now. And I will tell you, if anybody out there is watching this YouTube video right now, and you've got some better ideas and you want to help us, we are wide open for help here. Because Aaron and I are both learning, and that's kind of the fun part on this is neither of us really have a ton of experience with this social media marketing, but Aaron's a great filmmaker, and Ultimate Mission has just an incredible product. As far as, I've never seen anything more effective in my life. And I've done a lot of different ministries throughout my life, but what we're doing with women, training women to keep their babies alive, I haven't seen anything as effective as this. But the problem is we've got to get that information out to the people that can help us, the people that can join us, the people that can be part of this. And how do we do that in an effective manner that glorifies God and not ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. And at the end of the day, all of these different ministries out there, we are all playing a role in a bigger picture. We are all pushing for the same goal. And so, if we can work together, and I know that you have worked closely with gospel outreach, you guys have come to an understanding on some stuff because you're training the gospel outreach Bible workers' wives. But to realize that we're all in this together
No.
is a really comforting thought. Our ultimate goal is to share Jesus with the world so that we can fulfill the Great Commission, and so
No.
that we can go home. I mean, that's been the goal from day one, and we don't want to lose sight of what we truly desire from what we're doing.
No, no, and so you're right there. I mean, we don't want to compete with other ministries. I just, I mean, I love working with Asian Aid, which is now Child Impact. Love working with Gospel Outreach. Global Mission Pioneers. I mean, all these. I think we should all work together as much as possible. And the other, it's like you say though, as we go out into social media marketing and we compete with what the world's throwing at you, that's that's an interesting challenge and dilemma. You got to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Jesus did things that got people's attention. Okay, when Jesus healed the blind man, I mean, people noticed. Thousands of people were following him, and he said things. I mean, he talked about a camel going through the eye of a needle, or the blind leading the blind, and they're going to fall into the ditch. I mean, he would say things. He would do things that would get people's attention, and he had thousands of people following him around in just 3.5 years. So I don't feel that it's bad to lift our flag. I don't feel that it's bad to try to do things I mean, we see over 5,000 advertisements every single day. Over 5,000 is what estimated the average person sees every single day. And so in 5,000 advertisements, how in the world does somebody like Ultimate Mission stand out so people say, hey, look at that. What are those guys doing over there? And that is that's the tough part we're working out between us. And then, all the Facebook algorithms, all that stuff drives us crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
when do you boost a post? How much do you boost a post for? Where do you focus these posts at?
Yeah, and the challenge is grabbing the attention. Once the attention is grabbed, once people understand what Ultimate Mission is doing and how a small ministry that's been around for 4 years, 5 years,
Well, we've been around since 2009, but we've been doing this project with the women since 2014.
okay, excellent. So once people see what Ultimate Mission is actually doing, this small organization, and the impact that they are making, as small as they are, it's incredible. These women are going into these remote villages, and they are quite literally saving lives there through education. That's a really big thing, prenatal, postnatal, when it comes to women. And so education saves a lot of lives. The women going into these villages and helping people who have, high blood pressure, and getting them to the hospital and being there for people. I mean, they are quite literally saving lives, and not only saving their earthly bodies, but also, telling them about Jesus and saving them for the kingdom as well. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Every time I've been over to India with you, Jim, and seen what these women are doing, it blows me away And I just wonder why don't more people know about Ultimate Mission? And more people do need to know about Ultimate Mission, because the work that you are doing is really impacting a lot of people in some amazing ways.
Well, God's taken our loaves and fishes and he's just multiplying them. And
Yeah.
so that's, that's how that's working. And we want, we just want as many people as possible to be involved in this. So we can so we can expand this. I mean, we've got 100 women working right now doing over 100,000 health visits a year. Imagine if we had 1,000 women working, it just, and the projects we got going in the Philippines right now. Imagine if we could help support that even better. There's so much potential with medical missionary work and women ministering to women is just so powerful. So yeah.
For the people out there who have made it this far in this video, first of all, thank you for
Yes.
for spending your time sitting here and watching Jim and I converse about some things that we may not even understand. But you may ask yourself, what can I do to help Ultimate Mission in a bigger way? And the answer is share Ultimate Mission with your friends, whether it's sharing through social media, whether it's just telling people about Ultimate Mission while you're conversing with them. We need to get the word out, because once the word is out, people will see the impact that Ultimate Mission is making. But the only way that we can continue to grow and continue to sponsor even more women around the world, we need your help, and we need you to be sharing Ultimate Mission with your friends and family.
Yeah, the ultimate crowdfunding project right here.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And word of mouth is really still the best advertising, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Word of
So
mouth comes in Facebook shares and stuff sometimes, but hey, that is a good way to do it. So
yep.
hey, so I think this is a great place to end it here.
I agree, Jim. I think it's time to call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Again, if there's some social media marketing guru out there that wants to help Aaron and I figure this out, please bring it on. We can use your help. All right.
Yeah, come donate your time, and we would love to have a conversation with you. You can share your insight with us, because we're all pushing for the same goal.
There you go. All right.
All
See
right,
you
thanks,
later.
Jim.
God bless.